Welcome to Discover Indie Film. I'm your host, Jeff Howard, and I've got filmmaker Karina Wolfe with me. Hey.
Hi.
And I didn't even in the first podcast, did I talk about how nice it is that you're here in person instead of Zoom?
No, you didn't.
Well, it is. It's really nice. Not that I have anything against Zoom, and I'm sure everyone will appreciate the audio quality being better.
It is nice to be here in person.
It is. Thank you so much. So, Karina was just on the podcast before this one talking about her award-winning film, Lou. That's right, it got the Audience Award for Best Short Film Comedy at the Sherman Oaks Film Festival last year in 2021. I love Lou. You should watch it. And by the way, you'll be able to watch it a little while after this podcast comes out because it's going to be in Season 7 of the Discover Indie Film TV series. I'm super stoked about that because it's my kind of movie. And hey, obviously the Discover Indie Film TV series is curated by me. It's stuff I like. So enjoy Lou. It's an award-winning film, and we're not talking about Lou or your career this time. We're going to let you answer the Discover Indie Film 4 questions, which are favorite films of all time, an underrated film, an overrated film, and a lesser-known film that people should seek out. No pressure, because this is just to have a fun conversation about film. And then, I do have a secret agenda. Maybe someday we'll have a mixer again for people who've done the podcast or people who've put a film in the TV series. And then I'll be able to say, hey, your favorite was your overrated.
Oh, gosh, you're going to pit us against each other.
And I just think it's really healthy to acknowledge differences of opinion, actually.
Right.
I think it's like if you say you don't like my favorite movie, I'm like, that's so cool because that's about diversity. That's just, nothing is universal.
Right.
So that's my pitch for universality. And now I'll shut the heck up. Do you want to name favorite films?
It's the hardest question in the world, but I will say a couple are anything Jean-Luc Godard ever made. So maybe A Woman is a Woman, Spaceballs, and The Royal Tenenbaums. I will say with one little caveat, this year, The Worst Person in the World probably has made my list of favorite movies of all time.
I've heard that.
I guess it came out last year, but it's breathtaking.
I'm dying to see it. Yeah. And by the way, I just want to applaud your list because I kind of think doing Godard, M.L. Brooks, and then Royal Tenenbaums, that's perfect. I think Royal Tenenbaums, if you think about it, is sort of if Mel Brooks and Godard collaborated.
Totally. I didn't think about that, but yes.
Because, and Spaceballs, huh?
It's a perfect film.
Did you grow up a Star Wars kid and then?
I grew up as a Spaceballs kid and then watched Star Wars later.
It's funny. Spaceballs is not my favorite Mel Brooks, but there are lines from that film that I have never, ever forgotten. Yeah. And I don't think I've seen it for 40 years.
But you could still probably talk along to most of it. I mean, I will say there are scenes that probably have not aged well and are sexist, but they just hold such a special place in my heart.
And I can't resist. Of all the lines that I can never get out of my head, when Daphne Zuniga is singing and they're about to break her out, and he overhears her inside singing, and he goes, "She's a baritone?" Yeah. I think that's the funniest thing I've ever heard because that's such a Mel Brooksy moment.
Yeah.
Considering he was married to Anne Bancroft and probably was well versed in musical theater. All right. Yeah. So anyway, I love your list. Wonderful.
Thanks.
And what do you have for underrated?
Well, underrated, the first thing I thought of was Selma. I know people who saw it liked it, but just not enough people saw it. And the Oscars that year, I just don't know how David Oyelowo was not nominated, how Ava DuVernay was not nominated. I think it was nominated for Best Picture, but no one talked about it or saw it. And that movie I thought was unbelievable.
People are guilty of avoiding films that are wonderfully made and maybe too serious for them, I guess. That's the embarrassing joke about the Oscars nowadays is that no one sees something wins Best Picture and no one rushes to see it.
Right.
And Selma's on that list, I think.
Do.
And as well, and
yeah.
And I'm actually sometimes guilty of it.
Yeah. I actually watch every film that's nominated before the Oscars. I take the Oscars very seriously.
Oh, well. You know what? Next year I might revive. Before COVID, on this podcast, I'd always have like 3 or 4 filmmakers together at this dining table to do a pre-Oscars prediction and then come back a week later and do a post-Oscars wrap-up.
Love it.
It was always kind of fun.
Yeah, I love it. No, it's a lot of work. This is the first year I tried to watch every single thing for the Emmys because I think it was the best year of television in history.
Wow. Okay, maybe I'll add a number 5 question and ask you a TV question. But all right, so that's your underrated.
Okay.
What's your overrated?
Well, I still am not over Crash winning the Oscar for Best Picture. How did that happen? But I don't know. Does anyone actually think it's overrated, or just that was a fluke? How did it win Best Picture?
Yeah, I forget what it defeated, but I'm sure they're quite good.
Yeah, I think everything else was good. I think that was the year that I was like, okay, there's going to be some BS and there's politics and something else going on. But I wanted to throw my TV out the window when it happened.
Yeah, because it was good, right?
I don't even think it was good.
You don't think it was good?
Maybe it's parts of it, but I thought it was cheesy and overacted and just like it felt like it was just trying to milk getting an Oscar, but it was just not well done. I don't know. That was.
I think we just blame the boomers, right? It's like an ultimate boomer film.
They thought it was woke, and so they gave it to.
That's right.
Before woke was a woke.
It was boomers being politically correct, and that's true. Didn't it come out of 30-something, right? It was born a 30-something writer. What's his name? The nice guy, the former. Oh, whatever. I'll drop it.
It was
the guy the former Scientologist. He's like been very public about it. He's cool.
Yeah, I forgot.
I shouldn't have gone there.
I'm blocked.
But good choice for sure.
Okay.
For sure, yeah. It's always a bummer. I should someday learn what Crash beat, because I think every once in a while Crash gets mentioned as overrated, because I know there's only.
I don't think it would bother me so much, except that it won Best Picture.
Yeah, and when you think about the films that have won Best Picture, and then that's up there with them.
Yep.
Doesn't compute.
No.
All right, well, we just got one more, unless I throw in that TV question, but the lesser known film for people to seek out.
Me and You and Everyone We Know by Miranda July.
I don't know if I've seen it, but I've always heard of it.
Oh, it's amazing. Yeah, definitely recommend. One of the first things I ever saw John Hawkes in, and he's amazing. It's just so special.
Well, I'm typing it in because, and Worst Person in the World, I'm dying to see too.
Yes, it just beautiful.
That's foreign, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I think she should have been nominated and won Best Actress last year, but I don't know. I think Paul Thomas Anderson gave a speech and he was like, "Did the Academy not see this movie? Like, what happened?"
I think he's right. They probably didn't, because they refused to see something subtitled.
But it got nominated for a couple random things like editing or screenplay or something. But it's just like, I don't know how it was nominated for Best Actress. She was unbelievable.
All right, now I gotta watch it.
Yeah,
I think we brought it up the other day to watch, and then watched what was recommended below it because, like asshole Americans, do we really want to read a movie?
You want to read this one?
Yeah. For sure. All right. Well, what are you loving on TV right now?
Oh my God.
Or what was your biggest agreement and disagreement with the Emmys?
I'm so glad Mike White won so much for White Lotus. I think that was a masterpiece, and he's just such a good guy, and I've loved his writing forever. And oh gosh, there's so many. I wish Yellow Jackets could have won more, but it's just so hard. I just watched that in preparation. I thought that was fantastic. God, I feel like I'm blanking out right now.
TV now is so hard.
It's
I always tell myself, I need to keep a list, because when people ask you what you've watched lately, I'm like,
Well, I just say even in the comedy category, that how any year Marvelous Miss Maisel would just be the shoe-in, or Hacks would have been the shoe-in, or Ted Lasso would have been the shoe-in, or there was one other on that list. But it's just like, how do you pick? They're all just so incredible. So,
yeah, and different from each other.
yeah. There's a drama that I want to say, but I can't. I don't know. I needed a list.
I understand. And right now I'm re-binging Shameless, the American version, because my life partner had never seen it before, and I kept going, you really need to see Shameless.
I have never finished it. I think I got to like the second or third season. I always loved it, but that is one I need to watch.
I stopped after two and a half as well, because I moved and didn't get Showtime in the new place. So now I'm catching up. All right, well, that's my story. Karina, thank you for answering the 4 questions.
You're welcome.
Guess, I have your, so KarinaWolfe.com, KarinaWolfe. Like that's how Tom Wolfe spells it, right?
Yes.
I'm not going to ask if you're related because
I'm
that's just
not.
silly. It's just silly. I'm not related to any Howards.
Yeah.
Just except my family.
Yeah.
And no one has ever heard of any of them. So that's how people can look you up and see your work. And I'm going to, and your Instagram, you want to share it?
At Karina Love Wolfe.
Yeah, at Karina Love Wolfe. And now I will wrap us up by saying, please like and subscribe to the podcast. Watch the Discover Indie Film TV series on Prime Video. By the way, watch it on a big TV. Don't sit there on your phone watching films that people poured their hearts into. In fact, go to Costco and buy a 85-inch and then download the Prime Video app onto it and enjoy, because these are really beautiful, beautiful works. And in season 7, you will see Karina Wolfe's film Lou, and you'll laugh and you'll cry.
We hope.
You will, and you will definitely laugh. Crying is up to you. It depends if you've ever questioned whether or not you should have put yourself ahead of your pet, I guess. I don't know. Why am I saying this?
No, I think that's good.
Yeah. And if you want to learn more about the podcast or that TV series, go to discoverindiefilm.com. On social media, it's at DIFWins. And I mentioned the Sherman Oaks Film Festival and the award you got there. It's every November, so people can go to ShermanOaksFF.com or at ShermanOaksFF on social media to learn more. And the sister festival is Film Invasion Los Angeles every June. And you can go to filminvasionla.com or at filminvasionla on social media. And I've done my required spiel at the end. Thank you, Karina, for coming in.
Thank you for having me.
And thank you for a great list. We just lost Jean-Luc Godard.
I know. 2 days ago? 2
days ago.
Yeah.
And it's reminding me, life is hard, but I don't think I've watched one of his films since college. And I graduated in 1990, so...
Do yourself a favor and rewatch one.
It's been over 30 years. Yeah, I know. I gotta... Yeah. Which one should I watch if I watch the first one?
Breathless is always a wonderful one to start back with. Woman is a Woman. Alphaville. Wacky.
That's right. I just saw a social media post by someone I love, and it was the guitarist Robert Fripp, and he and the band Blondie were going to do an Alphaville remake. And Godard said to them, "Why would you do that? Do something original for you." And something.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. But anyway, all right. I'll definitely watch some stuff. All right. Well, thank you again for coming in.
Thank you.
And everyone who's out there listening, thank you for listening.